Hello everybody and welcome to a Vintage Cube video where we have a doozy of a pack to start. We're going to be taking Time Walk, but it's pretty rare that I see a Minskin Boon pass it, and I also think Luris is pretty good. I've had some success with this card. You need to build with certain considerations in mind, of course. You lose out on access to some good stuff, and you need to make sure you have good interaction and removal to kill their stuff because they'll have bigger stuff. But with all that said, definitely taking Time Walk. I love this card. Probably not going to be wheeling much in blue, but this is excellent. Really, like, it doesn't change too much what I'm interested in going into. I like the blue-green deck where you get to recur this. I wasn't recording this, but like a week or so ago, I had a game where I played 7 Time Walks in a row. I went like, turn 4, Time Walk plus Pillage the Bog to find Time Warp. Turn 5, Time Warp. Turn 6, Tameo minus on Time Walk. Turn 7, like, Eternal Witness Time Walk and play, like, Little Tameo. And then, like, flip Tameo and, like, it was awesome. 7 Time Walks in a row in blue-green. That said, I'm going to take Orcish Bowmasters here. I think it's just the best card. There is Echo of Eons, which could wheel. Probably won't, but that's a nice combo, of course. But there's a situation where just, like, I think the power level is high enough to just take this. Notably, we did pass Reanimate, which is pretty good. And since we passed Reanimate, that makes me a little less interested in taking Animate Dead, because we're not going to be in a Reanimator deck. But that we could also just take this and play it in some sort of mid-range deck. I'm also looking at Lose Focus and the One Ring. And I think I'm actually going to take the One Ring here. It's very, very strong. Not particularly synergistic with what we have, but just like probably the most powerful card there. And then we don't have it yet, but if we could find Shieldred, that would be awesome. Shieldred plus the One Ring is a really strong combo. But right now, just like very, very high card quality, setting up to be some sort of blue-black mid-range deck. Alright, not thrilled with this pack. There's 3 blue cards, but none of them are that generically powerful. Occult Epiphany is fine, but not a card I'm super high on. There's, like, Sensei's Divining Top is a little clunky, but fine. There's Eagles of the North. We did pass Tolarian Academy, so I don't think we're doing any sort of Emery top shenanigans. There's no good fixing. I don't really want to take a Mana Confluence. We could, but, like, the One Ring already deals us damage. Like, this is probably better in a more aggressive deck. We could just take, like, Blooming Marsh or Eagles of the North for speculative fixing. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles of the North as like off-brand mana fixing, but not thrilled with it. I think I'll take a Brain Surge here. We are a little heavy on card draw and a little light on like cheap interaction, but it's still early enough that I think that's fine. We do see Zagoth Triome, which is another possibility, but I'll take the Brain Surge. Alright. Probably just taking Meticulous Archive with our Eagles of the North here. Pretty weak pack, and honestly, the last couple packs have had no clear standouts in power level. Yeah, I'll take the Meticulous Archive. Ooh, okay, so there's a Wheel of Fortune. I wasn't planning on playing red, or at least like we don't have that set up yet, but we have Orcish Bowmasters. There's also going pretty late, so I think we will speculate on it. Might not get there, but good consideration. And now I see a late Watery Grave. That's excellent. White and red are both possible splashes, but I think blue-black is likely our main colors. Cut Down is nice too. I definitely want some cheap removal, but I think we gotta take the Watery Grave. Alright, I think I'll take Unholy Heat here. Could also just take Razor Power Verge, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna take the fixing before the spell. So, if we end up playing all these colors, Leyline Binding could be good. Like, right now we have potentially set up to be a 4-color deck, everything but green. I think I will take this. We don't have tons of fixing yet, but it's pretty good. Nothing else in the pack stands out really to me. I mean, Pyrokinesis is fine, but yeah, we'll take the Binding. Late Steam Vents is nice. Definitely taking that. We have nothing pulling us towards green at the moment, but also everything else in this pack is bad, so I'll just take the Blooming Marsh. I'm kind of leaning toward just being Grixis, but we will see. I mean, if we see Teferis or Fractured Identity or Fourth Air Lingus, we could make the white splash happen for sure. Alright, I think I will take Underground Mortuary here. We have Leyline Binding, like the sort of domain style deck is that lane appears to be open. I'm not going to do it unless we get real reasons to do it, but Leyline Binding is a good payoff. If we get like a couple fetch lands and a Territorial Kavu, that could be an interesting direction to go. Yeah, a lot of lands here. Not really thrilled about any of this. I'll take the Knight of the Reliquary, but probably not be playing it. So this pack definitely fell off after the first few picks. Like, we got this Orcish Bowmasters, but didn't see much black after that. So that is good to know. We'll see how it goes from here. Man, this pack is pretty weak. Flash is the most powerful card, but we don't really have any synergies with it at the moment. Stock Up and Consult the Star Charts are both pretty solid pieces of card draw. A little slow, and they don't impact the board, but I think that is still probably the best thing we can take here. And I think I'll take the Consult the Star Charts. They're very similar, but I like this being instant speed. Another pretty underwhelming pack. I think I'm gonna take a Braid. I really want some cheap interaction, and I think this is like the best thing we have going on. This is better than like these sort of random lands and white cards. So I'll take the Braid. Now we see Narset. Okay, that's pretty nice. So we did miss out on the Echo Vions, but if we cut all the, like, we have just a sort of streamlined draw 7 Grixis style deck. If we just cut the white stuff and take Narset here, which I will do. Do really want some 1-drops. We passed up on Cut Down and Unholy Heat to take lands, which I think is a reasonable pick. I honestly stand by that. But we need to get some of those cheap removal spells. Playing black and red, though, that shouldn't be too hard, hopefully. What do we want to take here? Emperor of Bones is pretty good, but not really the style of deck that we're building. I do like Consider for the card selection, but given how this deck looks and that we have a lot of card draw already, I think I'm going to take Stern Scolding. I just really want some cheap interaction, and I would kind of prefer to take the cheap removal spell, but Stern Scolding is also a very nice interaction, and better in a lot of situations. I mean, when your opponent casts a Palace Jailer, do you want to have a Lightning Bolt or a Stern Scolding? Alright, really good pack. I think we just take the Badlands. We don't have a black-red fetchable land. There's also Expressive Iteration, which is great, and Infernal Grasp. I really want both of those cards, but I do think we need to take the Badlands here if we want to be playing this Orc. Yeah, let's do that. Pretty happy with how this pack has gone so far. We've gotten, like, all good cards in our colors. You know, another combo piece, a piece of fixing, 2 pieces of cheap interaction. The second half of pack 1 was pretty bad, but hopefully that's because Grix, like, you know, if Grixis is cut from one side, that hopefully means it's open from the other, and we can scoop a lot of role players here in pack 2 before we find our Ancestral Recall in pack 3. Interesting. So there's Uro, which is really good. It's good with Wheel of Fortune and just good in general. We have a couple pieces of green fixing, and the rest of the pack is pretty weak. I mean, there's Duelist of the Mind, which is good with Wheel of Fortune, but I think I'm honestly going to take the Uro here speculatively. It might not get there, but I do really think escape cards are powerful in the right build. Alright, going to just take a Sheoldred's Edict here. A lot of red and white here, but yeah, this is a great cheap removal spell. And there's a Bayou. So it's Bayou versus Fabled Passage. There's also Delayed Blast Fireball, which is pretty nice, but not amazing. I think I'm going to take the Bayou. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to make Uro work here. I just really, really like the escape cards in general. In any deck that's slow, having this in your deck gives you a structural advantage where every single trade, you know, like, they play a creature, you bolt it. Normally that's a 1-for-1 neutral trade. When you have escape cards in your deck, every single trade is beneficial to you, and you just have this built-in inevitability that I just find sort of emotionally satisfying and also incredibly powerful in the right deck. Alright, we'll take a Thought Scour here. Hymn to Torok is solid, but double black could be tough. Like, this is just the better pick when we have Uro. Waterlogged Grove, Witherbloom Apprentice, or Airtie Resurrected. I think I'm going to take the Airtie. Waterlogged Grove is fine, but I don't love having to pay life in this style of deck. And also, we have a couple little built-in synergies, like this with Narset or with Orcish Bowmasters. Making them draw a card can actually be, like, neutral to good. Caustic Bronco versus Prophet's Eidetic Memory is close. I think I'll take either one over Shorikai. And honestly, I'll take the Draw 7. It's not amazing. It might not get there, but it's really good with the One Ring. It's really good with Brain Surge. Really good with Wheel of Fortune. And then we might be able to get another Draw 7. I think I'll speculate on this, but probably not play it. We'll take a Dam here. So we'll see on the white splash. I took this Meticulous Archive and Eagles. Haven't really seen that much of a reason to be white since then. I'll take a white of the Reliquary. They're a different kind of white. Pretty good pickup. I mean, it might not get there depending on the build, but it's nice with Uro and nice with Orcish Bowmasters. So we'll see. Also, I mean, it's nice with Uro because you can sack the Uro for value. They also go well together because this can fill your graveyard. Like sack a creature to put a creature in the graveyard, find a surveil land to put another card in the graveyard, and all of a sudden your Uro is looking pretty escapable. Ooh. Remember about 5 minutes ago when I said we were going to get Ancestral Recall in Pack 3? Don't mind if I do. This is probably actually worse than a Mox for us here because we have pretty good card draw and we're pretty slow, and this helps with our strength and does not help with our weakness. That said, still just easy pick, very good. Very, very good blue card draw in this deck, which makes Uro and Prophet's Eidetic Memory a little bit better. Do still really want some cheap interaction, though. We got a Braid and Shieldred Edict, so we do have 2, but I would like to get at least 2 or 3 more cheap spot removal spells. Decent pack here. We could become a red and 6 deck, but not really. We're in red and green likely, but we also don't have many fetch lands, or any fetch lands currently. Let's just take a Xander's Lounge. Nice piece of fixing for our base Grixis deck. Now it's Underground Sewers versus Taiga. There's also like Pillage the Bog. Duress is a reasonable consideration. How many tapped lands do we have? Not too many, just 2. And we're also like base blue-black instead of base red-green, so I think Undercity Sewers will help us a little bit more. Okay, a bunch more lands, but also a Flame Slash, and I think we might just need to take this over Volcanic Island. Just look at our curve and our weaknesses. This is the exact kind of card we're looking for. Now we see Time Warp, which we also have Time Walk, and also Time Spiral. A lot of time going on here. With all that said, I'm going to take a Toxic Deluge, though. This is something that we don't really have good access to. Time Spiral is just a little clunky. Like 5 and 6 drops, you know, they're good with Narset, they're good with Orc, but I think just taking the cheap interactive spell is a bit better. There's also a ton of blue in this pack, so maybe we can wheel one of these. Okay, pretty easy to Polluted Delta here. Oh, wait. Never mind. Polluted Delta is great. I wish I could take a Polluted Delta, but Shieldred is definitely the pick. With our Wheel of Fortune and our One Ring, it's also just good with, like, all our card draw. Perfect pickup. I think it's Blazemire Verge here. Cecil's mid. Liliana's fine, but double black's a little tough. Yeah, let's just take a bit of fixing. This deck is coming together well. I think we're cutting this. Honestly, we might just cut the green. I do like Uro, but it's kind of, I guess we have a pretty free green splash. We'll see. Why the Reliquary is not exciting, though. Interesting pack here. Ponder is very strong. I do normally take Ponder pretty highly, but I think Fiery Confluence might be the move here. Again, we just have better card draw than we have interaction. It's a little high on the curve for interaction, but it's still very strong. Now we can take a Blackleaf Cliffs. Yeah, I think I'm not going to play the Uro. Like, it would be our only green card, and it's kind of a double green card. We can cast the first half pretty easily, but we'd have to play some Forest to play the second half, and I don't think that's really where we want to be. Third Path Iconoclast actually looks really good, though, with all our cheap cantrips and our low creature count. There's Ren and 6, and Terra Sunder, and Tameo. I'll take the Tameo. It's nice with Time Walk. Now I'm going to take Fear of Missing Out. Phantasmal Image is not amazing. It's good with, like, exactly Orcish Bowmasters, but not much of our deck. I think just, like, this is, like, a nice interactive card. Or not interactive, but, like, card filtering. It's also pretty nice with Prophet's Eidetic Memory. You get a second begin combat phase, so you can trigger this multiple times. Probably a 17 lander here, so we're going to add 9 lands and need 3 more spells. Not too thrilled about playing Slickshot Show Off. We could just go back to the green splash. I think we can afford to play Dam, actually. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Take a Sedgemoor Witch. But yeah, we can't overload this, but just being a 2-mana spot removal spell is fine here. Oh, wow. Okay, we wheel them both. I think Time Spiral is the better pick here. Now I'll take Inspiring Vantage. Actually, no, we'll take a Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah, Pyromancer looks good here. And Liliana. Okay, nice. Couple good late picks. I think I'm going to cut Fear of Missing Out now. I think these other cards are a bit better. And then run it like this. So let's sort by color. Heaviest blue, then black. If we do this, it gives us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go 9 blue sources. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 black sources. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red sources. Yeah, I think that works. We have a lot of blue, but not a whole lot of double blue. This is a situation where we have a lot of duels and solid fixing. I'm not too worried about it. But our fixing is a bit worse than you would expect given how many lands we picked because we have no fetches. So Xander's Lounge is our only tri-land. You know, having one Surveil or one tri-land and like 3 fetch lands is probably a better mana base than this, even though this has so many different lands. But still, I'm really excited about this deck. We got 2 draw 7s with 3 Punishers, Shieldred, Orc, and Narset. We also have some good cheap interaction and a ton of good card draw. So, yeah. Parallelograms. Alright, move myself to the top there so we won't block this swamp. Actually, I don't know how the sizing works. This hand is really slow. I think we got to ship it. It just, like, doesn't have anything for the early plays. This hand has similar problems, but I'm going to keep because I don't want to go to 5. Dam is pretty far away from being cast. I think I'll put that back. Since we have no swamps and we need double swamps for that. Fiery Confluence is good if we're behind. And if it's like a slow game, then that's just, our deck is well built for that. I think I will keep this. It's pretty nice. Like, we can just jam it next turn, not get any value the initial turn, but it's nice, you know, play Seasoned Pyromancer and then immediately put 2 counters on one of the tokens. It gives us some board presence. Okay. I'm going to shock this into play to set up possibly having double red next turn. I would like to save the Brain Surge to get board presence off of this. So even though it's less mana efficient, if we don't draw a red source, I think I'm going to play Consult the Star Charge next turn. Ooh, okay. That's a nice one. Yeah, let's play that instead. Okay. That resolves. Too bad that their card draw does get around the Orc trigger. Cast Orc. If they countered it, it's fine too. Mystic Confluence would be annoying. Hopefully this hardcast Force of Will. Alright, they got a clean 2-for-1 into a clean 3-for-1. Neither of those are great for us. Let's untap. I think we just play Consult the Star Charts here. Like, I don't want to discard any of my cards to this Seasoned Pyromancer. I don't really care about their Talisman of Progress. I want to save the Brain Surge until we have board presence. Teferi, Elite Spellbinder. Okay, let's just cast this. I think I'll take Badlands plus a Braid here. And then they probably want to take Fiery Confluence. If they don't take Fiery Confluence, I'll just play it. One of each mode to get the 2-for-1 and dome them for 2. If they do take it, do we play the Seasoned Pyro? Oh, they take the Pyro. That's weird. I think I'm happy to see that. They shock this. Okay, so it could have... What is this? Oh, Teferi, sure. Yeah, just gonna fire off Fiery Confluence for the 2-for-1. it gives up a little information, but I'm just going to sequence the tapped land into play, pass turn. Now what I would love to find is something like Third Path Iconoclast. Cheap dude, drop it into play Brain Surge, make one of our tokens a 5/5. I guess they have Teferi though, so that's not that good. I think this should be a good matchup. We have sort of similar decks, and I think we can outgrind them, but this game may be a tough one to win just because their cards have lined up pretty well. I mean, Mystic Confluence being counter draw too. Little double Cryptic Command is pretty tough to overcome. Although we have Ancestral, we could overcome anything. Duelist of the Mind, okay. Sure. I think I'm just going to kill this Duelist of the Mind. But let's main phase. No, I'm missing out on some profits value, but I think we do main phase Brain Search here and see what we find. Ooh. Okay, this could be a tough one. Gotta do this all main phase because of their Teferi. Next turn, I guess we just play Seasoned Pyro to filter through 2 of these lands. Could also play Shieldred, but that's pretty bad into their Teferi. Galore Field. Wow, they have a lot of card draw. So we'll play Spyro, discard 2 lands. We won't get any tokens, but we can make the Seasoned Pyromancer a 4/4. Ooh, Oculus. That is pretty scary. We do have some answers to it like Toxic Deluge, but definitely don't love that. I think playing Shieldred is not going to be good enough here. We got to find some interaction. Okay, Toxic Deluge is a plan. Not a very good plan, especially if they have a counterspell. Shelldock Isle is also online now, but it's not over. And if they bounce the Spyro, we lose our counters, but we also get another Spyro trigger. Would love to just see creatures here. I don't even know what creature this could be, but like Otari, Glorybringer, perfect. If they have no counterspell, we're actually in fine shape. I mean, we're taking what? 11 down to 7, and then we're going down to 2. So, maybe not great, but we also have Shieldred. Ooh, okay. That is a plan. And start with Deluge for 5. If we counter this, we just lose, which could certainly happen. Oh, well, yeah, that does it. Alright, so we lose game 1. Their deck is pretty sweet. They're playing like Jeskai Control. I don't like that they have Flage. This actually seems like a matchup where we might want to bring in Uro, because the game is likely to go long and be grindy. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to do that. So let's bring in these lands. And they're all black sources, so I'll cut 2 swamps, cut a mountain, add 1 forest. We'll cut 1 island. This definitely makes our fixing a bit worse, but I think it's okay. Uro comes in. What comes out? What does Stern Scolding hit? Doesn't hit their scariest threats. Doesn't hit like Flage, Glorybringer, any of that stuff. Yeah, I think I'll cut the Stern Scolding and run it like this. I would think in a Uro versus Flage matchup, Uro should win that. They both gain life, but I think drawing cards is better than bolts, especially when both players are gaining life. Okay, we can keep this. I will shock on turn 1 for the Thought Scour. Classic, have both of these in your Uro deck. Thought Scour will get their Shelldock Isle online a little faster, but still, I mean, we're not going to not cast it. Pretty happy to mill over both of those 2 cards. So we're just going to go Orc into end of turn Narset, both good threats. They probably won't be able to enter them both. Hopefully they can enter neither. Good draw. Very good draw. Still going for Narset first. And I'm going to minus. It does open it up to Flage, which would not be ideal, but I think we do want to keep the cards flowing. Ooh, that is brutal. Very, very unlikely to brick there with Narset. But there was just 4 lands. They don't have Flage mana. If we get untapped, we get another 5 looks digging for Wheel of Fortune, which would end the game. Teferi, bounce, or Teferi plus, sure. Nice. I'm going to Time Walk first, though. Nice. All right, so solid game 2 there. Got our combo assembled pretty quickly, so we were able to ignore their Teferi. Any changes for game 3? Slickshot Show Off is kind of interesting. Same with Fear of Missing Out. Like, are these better than some of our cheap removal? Maybe. But they do have a couple creatures that we care about. Like, they did have Elite Spellbinder. We're not too soft to Teferi, which is nice. Yeah, I think we just run it back. Being on the draw is unfortunate, but hopefully we get a good hand to make up for that. Ooh. Don't have any red mana. I think I'm going to keep it. Narset's good. I think I will keep it. If there were a super fast deck, I would maybe mulligan because we don't have any interaction. But we have a good combo. We have a good mix of lands and spells. This does seem like games, or it could be a draw go slower style game. Okay, that's kind of worst case scenario. We wanted to draw just like red land or non-red spell. So drawing the 3rd red spell when we have no red lands is certainly not what we wanted. That's just brutal. Sure. This could be a really tough game to win, though. I mean, those are kind of the worst 2 possible draws. We need to find red sources very soon, or at least, like, non-red spells. Yep, knock him into Teferi. Pretty nice curve. We'll take the 2. You can play Narset this turn. I'd rather just draw a red source, though. Alright. I'll take the one we can cast, I guess. We do put a Badlands to the bottom. Next turn, if we draw a red source, I'll go 3rd Path Iconoclast plus Dam to kill their creature. They should probably take the 1 ring here. Definitely take the 1 ring, actually. I think it's not even close, yeah. Then Narset goes to 1, and we draw a red source, please. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so we'll play that. Play the Iconoclast. I think I'm going to kill the Malcolm over the Elite Spellbinder. Elite Spellbinder does hit a little harder, but we can kill them both eventually. And I want to shut down their card draw. We could have also played Wheel of Fortune. I guess I should have mentioned that. But I think that's actually worse. Like, I mean, it puts them from 2 cards to 1 card. Maybe we should have just done it, actually, though. But I think getting some board presence is fine. Like, we don't really need to play this Wheel of Fortune. We can just win, like, a slower game with a 1 ring. Like, take out their creatures. And I think that, like, playing the board is a bit better than just, like, more card draw when we're sort of behind on board. They can bounce our soldier token. That would be fine. And I guess worst case scenario, we just play Wheel of Fortune next turn, but hopefully we can do more than that. Okay, would love to draw another red source so we can replay the Iconoclast plus play the Abrade. Okay, that's good. Let's leave up the red source, I guess. Okay, I think I'm gonna play out the third path Iconoclast, given that we drew the Orc. I was planning on killing the thing with a Braid, but I think this is a bit better. Consult the star charts here is pretty good. Basically a little dig through time. Kind of a parity game, though. We both have the same number of lands, similar cards in hand, similar board presences. They do have this Teferi, but we have like this in exile and Uro in the graveyard. So I actually think we might be ahead here, even though it's hard to feel ahead when you're playing a control mirror and your opponent's the one with the Teferi. Flage, okay. We don't have a great answer to that. Yeah, that could actually be a pretty big problem. Unless we can find another green source and just have our own thing that goes over the top. If we draw land, I guess we could just slam the 1 ring. Brain Surge. Okay, let's play that first. Looking for lands. Okay, not as many lands as I was hoping for. I'll put back the Wheel of Fortune, which I think is the worst card. And then this, and we'll go land. And in playing this Orc, we are letting them escape the Flage, but then we can Liliana to take out the Flage. And they're pretty far away from getting it back again. So I think what we're going to do next turn is play Consult the Star Charts. And we get to look at 6 cards for another land. And if we find a land, we can play Liliana. Otherwise, we can play Sheoldred's Edict. Either way, we're taking out their Flage. And our life total is very high. Like, you know, they probably kill the Orc. Then we kill this. Like, I think we're actually in a really good spot here. I don't know why I felt like we're behind all game, but maybe we've actually just secretly been ahead all game. I guess we had like awkward mana early on, but we've basically been able to recover from that. So let's cast this, leaving up double black. Okay, and then I think Time Walk, Undercity Sewers got to be the picks here. Really hoping this resolves. Nice. That resolving means I think we're in really good shape. Don't think we need that. Let's pass turn. Back to ourselves. Alright, I like drawing a second green source. Let's go... Black, black, whatever, Liliana. I'm trying to decide if I want to also take out their Teferi. I kind of think yes. Start with this. We could put Teferi to 1 and then maybe kill him next turn, but just like getting him off the board is good. But at the same time, then we lose our Shieldred Edict, which maybe leaves us softer to future stuff. So even though it's mana inefficient, oh, okay, that's fine. That actually works pretty well. So they sack their fairy, but then we can just, it's a good thing we sequenced it this way. So now we can go Shieldred Edict, sacrifice a non-token creature. And then I wish I could braid the Teferi, but we can't. So we'll just play our land. Toxic Deluge, I think, is actually worth keeping, weirdly. Like in this situation, we have excellent card draw with the One Ring and the Uro. The thing I'm worried about is just like them playing big stuff, and now we're out of removal spells that kill stuff bigger than 3. So if they have a Glory Bringer, I want to be able to have an answer. And we have life gain from Uro. I'm not worried about the life. I'm also not worried about like running out of win conditions since we have Time Spiral, which can shuffle our graveyard back in. They're pretty far away from escaping Flage. It's been a good game. It would be close without the ring and the Uro. Like, just based on the hand and the board, it would be close. But we have these two massive advantages. I guess they also have their Flage, but I think Uro is better here, and probably just better overall since it draws cards. And then also, we have a much more stocked graveyard, so we can escape it potentially twice before they escape it once. I guess if we escape Uro and they just have Swords to Plowshares, then we're, and then they all, I guess they'd have to have Swords to Plowshares plus the one, and a counter for the One Ring, though. Okay, let's start with a Liliana plus, pitching a Braid. Then let's attempt to kill this Teferi. Awesome. I think I'm just going to play the One Ring. Alright, pass turn. Seems like a very good position. In terms of the One Ring life loss, our main ways around that are just, are like Shieldred is, I think, probably our best plan. We don't have ways to bounce it, I think. Or like kill our own One Ring. So we do need to worry about the life loss adding up, but I think we should still be fine. Take 1. Draw 2. There's the Shieldred. Let's plus. I will discard the Toxic Deluge now. And then play out the Shieldred. I think we just play this and hold up Airtie Resurrected. Abhorrent Oculus plus Flage is a little greedy. Okay, definitely going to Airtie this. They get to draw a card before Shieldred hits the board. It's a little unfortunate, but it's fine. They do have Flage mana now, but I'm not too worried about that. That doesn't kill Shieldred. If they kill Liliana, so be it. We also have just like, I mean, kind of just combos with Shieldred. Like, if we get to tap the One Ring, gain 6, then play the Time Spiral and dome them for 14, pretty hard to imagine a way they come back from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are a mana short of being able to go Fiery Confluence plus Time Spiral and just dome our opponent for 20 damage. Kind of tempting to put Uro in play, though, before Time Spiraling. But I guess if they tap out, Time Spiral should just win the game immediately. We could even shuffle in and find Time Walk. I love Liliana. Used to be considered this, like back in the day. It was like Jace is the clear king, Liliana is the clear queen, number 2, and this card was just so devastating. The Dream Curve. You go turn 1, like they have 2 1-drops. You thought he's the bigger one. Then they play their Noble Hierarch. You play turn 2, Ren and 6, ping their guy. Then you go turn 3, Liliana, make them sacrifice their Tarmogoyf, and you just feel like a absolute value legend. Alright, So we take 2, but then we gain 1,000,000. Yeah, let's just tap this. Alright, pretty bad draws there, but I'm still feeling good. Let's... escape Uro. My only concern is just milling myself at this point. I think I'm just going to fire off this time spiral. If they counter it, they counter it. We do need to worry a bit about milling ourselves at that point, but I think we can still do it. And if they don't counter it, then we're in great shape. We do give them a new hand, but like I think that life swing should be enough to just win. Yeah, we drew Time Walk and Wheel of Fortune and Prophetic's Eidetic Memory. This deck is so sick. This is why I like this style of deck. Like, your cards are individually good. Shieldred can easily just win the game on its own. But then you also have these combos that can just go way over the top of anything your opponent's doing. So 42 to 11 are the life totals now. Now 44. Then we go to combat and make just our soldier token, I think, massive. They have to block the soldier token. I guess we could have also just double burned their thing, but whatever. There's no losing lines here. They go to 3. We untap. Take our extra turn. Oh! What? Not a card I was expecting. Huh. I think we just die. Wow. That's crazy. Like, brain freeze? How was I supposed to play around brain freeze there? I don't think we have anything we can do now. Wild. They're at 3. We have multiple burn spells, but none of them save us here. Might as well go out on our own terms. Crazy match. You can't even really be mad about that, honestly. I'll see you in round 2. On the draw here for round 2 against Vibrant. Nice name. So, this hand's light on lands, of course. We do have a cantrip. I think I will keep it on the draw. It's risky, but we get 3 looks by our second turn. And then we also have a cheap interactive spell. But there's definitely a case for mulliganing this. We do find the land quickly. We're not playing Uro. I think I'm still going to Thought Scour myself. I guess it doesn't really matter. Thought Scour is not that good in this deck if we're not playing Uro, honestly. But I'm still going to Scour myself here. We'll see what we hit. I'm happy to mill over those 2 expensive cards right now. Okay, nice. We find our black source so we can pass with the Orc up. Alright, just going to jam here. Try to be mana efficient. There's some situations where you want to be cagey with your Orc and save it. But I think in this spot where we have lots of stuff to do is find a gem. It is annoying that it gets exiled, though, not just countered, because now it won't be back if we play a draw 7. I think I'm going to just jam Pyro here to get some board presence. There's definitely a case for holding up Brain Surge, but these 2 cards are both not looking that good, and this lets us just get ahead on board. Okay, Prophetic's Eidetic Memory is solid. I wish we had... If we had one more land, we could play both of these next turn and put 5 counters on one of our things. As is, I think I'm probably going to play the Prophets first. Maybe Toxic Deluge here, or if it's Prismatic Ending, that would be good. Yeah, I'm very happy with that exchange. pass with Shieldred's Edict up. Feels like a pretty good spot for us. I think I'm going to lead on Liliana here. Oh, I played the wrong land, though, if we want to play... Like, Yeah, I'm going to play Liliana. It doesn't mean we don't get to hold up Prophetic's Eidetic Memory, but it's definitely... There's, like, more time value in getting this down. The first Liliana Plus doesn't do that much, but by, like, the time you use it a couple times, it can really punish your opponent. Versus Brain Surge is, like, fine. You can just play it and get value off it immediately. But I do wish I played another Swamp so I could hold up Shieldred's Edict as well. Okay, that resolves. Let's plus and pitch a Mountain. Oh, do they have Tishana's Tidebinder here? Oh, sure. I'll take that exchange, honestly. I mean, it might just be a 1-for-1 if they discard something they didn't need. Spell Pierce, interesting. Good to know about for game 2. But I guess if that was their play, I would rather have played the Brain Surge. I think I'm going to Brain Surge main phase here. It's a little worse if they have Counter Magic. Maybe if they pass with all their mana up, actually, we just wait. But I would much rather play it on my turn than their turn so we can get 4 power off of this PEM. Sunfall. Interesting. Okay. Well, that means we don't get our PEM value. I'm just going to play this main phase to make sure it resolves. And then if we find a creature, that would be nice, but it's also fine if we don't. Ooh. Okay. Let's just main phase Ancestral. If we found a creature that we could have just made it like a, what's it called? That 2/1 that makes tokens, third path Iconoclast, just put 7 counters on it immediately. Still, I mean, our hand is actually terrible. All we have is just lands, but I still think we're in a good spot. I mean, we can cycle the Xander's Lounge. Our opponent doesn't have that much action. If they go for Colonnade, we can just snipe it with a Shieldred's Edict. I'd be thrilled, actually, if that was their line here. Oh, they're tapping their column. Okay. Well, definitely happy we have an answer to that. In response, just going to immediately try to take this off the board. And now, if we find Narset, we can play Wheel of Fortune and probably just win. Orc is gone. If we find Shieldred, same thing. We do have exactly enough mana. The One Ring is gone, unfortunately. I mean, we could lose this for sure. We have a bunch of extra cards, but they don't do much. Okay, that does much. So, just going to go for it. If they have a way to disrupt this, that's too bad. But they only have 2 cards. I think you got to just go for it in this spot. This is instant win with them at 13 life. Nice. We even found the Time Walk. And we're going to get to put 7 counters on it to make it an 11-12. Alright, so we take down game 1. Oh, they just concede the match. A little weird, but alright. See you in the finals. Alright, I will keep this on the draw on the strength of Ancestral Recall. I mean, I really hope we find a land naturally, because if we just play the Ancestral, we're going to have to discard a lot of cards to hand size. But I think this is a keep. Oh no. Okay, not what we wanted to see. Orc is pretty nice against their library. They're really, really hoping we just draw an untapped land and we can Orc them on turn 2 and then Ancestral later. This is actually the rare deck where occasionally, not even that rarely, you want to Ancestral your opponent. With both Orc and Shieldred, it could be worth 8 damage. 9 damage. Actually, that was last night I got a trophy with like an old school Teferi control deck. I had both Teferis, Ancestral Recall. Sorry, different deck. But yeah, I had Shieldred and Orc, and absolutely got him. They had no choice but to play the Ancestral when I already had Shieldred in play, and then I played Orc at instant speed to add Orc to Praetor. So presumably they tap this. Now we fire off the Orc. If they counter back, then it's not great, but it's still not that terrible of an exchange. It's also not like game ending if this resolves, of course. We just get an extra damage and an extra power, but that is some real pressure. Okay, they Force of Will, but that's annoying because they can get back onto their library plan now. Unless they play another thing, which they definitely should not do. Yeah, that was a mistake, I think. Happy to see it, though. So let's Ancestral ourselves, looking for land number 3. We do find it. And then I think I'm just going to main phase take this out rather than like holding stuff up and discarding the hand size. I wish we had Stern Scolding up, but that's fine. Very, very powerful 3 cards to be filling the graveyard right now. And they're off of Library. They could have, I guess, sacked this to stay on Library. Alright, they pass. We draw. If I don't find a land, I'm just going to fire off this to dig for 3 deep. Looking for 1. Nice. Oh, there's also Time Walk, but I think we need to just take the lands here. And then just resolve this. It means we don't get to hold up Stern Scolding, but I think I just want to be mana efficient and keep digging for more lands. They do get to untap with their Traveling Chocobo. We'll see if they get some value. They do. I would love if they played another small creature and we can sweep them up with Fiery Confluence and then pass holding up Thought Scour / Stern Scolding. Rancor, okay. Okay, yeah, definitely just dealing 2 damage to each creature here. Not a 3 for 1, but it's a 2 for 1. Oh, interesting. That is maybe better. Yeah, I'll save this because it's our only way to deal with artifacts. Although I guess Toxic Deluge can deal with bigger creatures. That's probably more important, actually. And I'm going to tap this way to play around Wasteland a little bit. So we'll go 2 damage to each creature, 2 damage to each opponent. This goes to their hand, putting them to 4. They can crack this to go to 5, then draw to go to 6. I think they should be like leaning more into Library this game, especially when they can tell that like we're an interactive deck. It's probably going to be a good plan in this matchup. So if I were them, I would have like played a little differently to try to stay on that. I'm not saying the Force of Will plan was wrong, but like here's a spot where they could actually just time walk themselves, just skip a turn, and that might be the right move. I doubt they'll take that land though. People, oh no, they do. All right. I'm going to Thought Scour myself here. It doesn't really matter. Okay. 6 men is kind of an awkward number because we have multiple 4s we want to play. I think I'm just going to play Shieldred because it's the highest impact. And this is a spot where, like, normally you're not thrilled to play your Shieldred and have them counter it, but in this spot we kind of are because it would take them off of Library. And now, like, they've time-walked themselves to get an extra Library trigger, and they're going to be taking some damage here. Down to 12 now. Next turn, we can probably go Pyro plus Airtie. I don't think I'm just going to Jam Time Spiral. It's just a little too risky. Like, if they just bounce or kill this or counter that, then we only cast 1 spell. This is a spot where I think just double spelling is probably the right line. I'm going to shock this into play. Cast this. Plan on discarding Stern Scolding, Toxic Deluge. And then that puts 2 counters on our Shieldred. Narset's also a good one. I love this deck. Come in for 6, putting them to 6, then they go to 4 on their draw step. And Airtie drawing them a card is funnily like another shock. So it seems pretty hard for them to get out from this. I mean, maybe if they have Upheaval. You ever been in a spot where you knew a friend was going to bail on something? And then they finally text and they're so apologetic, but you're like, no worries, dude, I knew you were going to do this. But you don't really want to say that. Like, you want to convey that it's fine, but you don't want to convey that, like, you knew that they were going to bail. That just happened. It's for a 8-person squad for a music festival, so it's fine. You know, if it's a 2-person plan and 1 person bails, big disaster. I mean, not big disaster, not ideal. If it's an 8-person thing, you can lose 1. All right, I'm going to let this Narset resolve. Could even Airtie this and the 2 damage would kill them, but like, I'll just be technically correct here and be patient. There's just no reason, like, when you have an instant speed kill, I mean, I guess you could say it's kind of slow rolling, but like, I don't know, they were slow rolling by not conceding. So they're playing blue-green, traditionally not a very powerful color combination. Narset is scary, though. We don't have great answers to that outside of Sheoldred's Edict. Do we want to play Uro? It's bad against Narset, but, like, good in grindy matchups. I think there's a matchup where I want to just maximize my own interaction, though. Yeah, let's just run it back. You want Uro against black decks, primarily. Against, like, blue-green. It's not really the matchup where it shines. Okay, I'll keep this. It's a little awkward because we don't have double black or single blue. But I like having a cheap removal spell. And, yeah, I mean, I just think this is definitely a keep. Okay. Can't complain about that draw. Even though it's not castable yet. Probably just want to kill this. Yeah, I'll kill this. I want to keep, like, I don't care that much about it. I mean, maybe they have some crazy combos. They do have Rancor in their deck. But I want to keep the board clear for this Liliana. Ideally, they only have one creature in play when we play Lily. Oh, nice. They don't even have another land. Okay, I don't love drawing another blue card, but that's nice just fodder, I guess, to discard to our Liliana and Spyro. This is a spot where just curving like removal spell into Liliana on their only creature is just so devastating. And now it's just going to start ticking up and like really taxing their resources. So let's discard Thought Scour. And do we want to play Sheoldred or Seasoned Pyromancer? I think Sheoldred is, I mean, it's more mana efficient and just better. So that's probably is the play. It's a little worse if they have a removal spell. Like if they have Dismember, that's worse here because they get to like, but they don't even get to kill Liliana and they're playing blue-green. So I think it's just right to play Sheoldred here when we know it can resolve. Chocobo, do they get the land off the top? They do. It's a nice value for the opponent. They needed it. Would like to find a blue source soon because I don't want to end up just needing to discard this Ancestral to hand size. Rancor on the Chocobo, okay. Interesting. Okay, so this is a 5-2. If we block, they trade. I don't love that. Oh, wait, no. It'll grow even. I think I'm going to wait on this. I mean, it is tempting to just, like, pitch the Ancestral here to get some board presence. I think I'm actually going to do it. It looks a little... Well, no, that just can't be right. It's Ancestral Recall, right? And we have Sheoldred in play. Yeah, let's just plus, pitch Consult the Star Charts, and then pass. And then we'll just Ancestral a turn later. Do we accept this trade if they offer it to also save our Liliana? I just don't think I want more of this sort of card. I honestly kind of do want to do this, even though Sheoldred represents, it's just like a great card that represents a lot of life gain with all our card draw. I think just like keeping Liliana around to tax their resources and just like playing like a longer control game is better than trying to get a quick Sheoldred win. It is kind of close though. I might be overvaluing how good Liliana is here. Ooh. Okay, that is very scary. I think I will block, though. That will make Liliana take one. I really want to get this Nadu off the board. That's terrifying. And if we can find one removal spell for the Noble Hierarch, then we can, like, even like a small burn spell, then that gives us an answer to the Nadu as well. Oh, right, that's... Okay, maybe that was actually a bad play. Forgot that they could do that. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, wow. Okay, max punish for blocking with a Sheoldred. That really did not work. All right, I think we're still in fine spot, but maybe not. We don't find anything. Jeez. I guess I'll cash this in. No. We need to keep digging. I think I'm discarding this because I want to leave out the possibility of a black removal spell. We don't get there, though. Yeah, I think we're going to lose this game. It seems so good. But now they get to just have up mana drain. So yeah, blocking with the Shielders is going to end up costing us this game. We had the win literally on our hand that turn. They have mana drain and one unknown. I mean, they get to kill our Liliana. It's possible that we can win if they don't find any good ways to target Nadu. But if they have boots, like, it's certainly over. Ulvenwald Oddity, okay. So they go Nadu at our face, Ulvenwald Oddity at us. If we find a Toxic Deluge, we're back to a solid spot. We might just need to fire off this Wheel of Fortune if we brick. Yeah, I think we do need to fire off Wheel of Fortune here. It's not going to get better by waiting. So I'm going to kill the Nadu. They get a land. That's not ideal, but it's fine. And we play this, and just hope to draw a good hand. Time Walk, that's awesome. Okay. Now we're back in business, maybe. I mean, the rest of our hand's actually not that great other than this Time Walk, but that's huge, though. We get to, like, take the first turn after the draw 7, which is always a big deal. A Braid, okay. So let's just take out all our stuff. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So we'll go Island, a Braid your small guy, Shieldred Edict your big guy, then hit for 3 and pass with their tie-up, and now we're in a pretty solid spot. It's not over, but they're at 9, like we're going to potentially be able to hit them for 6 next turn. We also still have Fiery Confluence in our deck, and Orcish Bowmasters. Notably, they don't have an Uro in the graveyard. They have Oko and Nadu, but they have the wrong 3 mana blue-green card for this spot. I think I'm going to just turn Scolding this. Like, I would like to get the 3-2 into play, but this is a much less flexible counterspell. Exploration is fine. I don't think they've played land yet, so they can drop 2 now. Wasteland is fine. Ooh, there's the Greaves. Luckily, it's a little too late. Time Spiral, interesting. So if we play that, there's a good chance we could just win. But I think it's better to still hold up Airtie here. Maybe that's wrong, because if we find, like, anything, you know, if we find Time Walk, we certainly win. If we find Shieldred, we certainly win. But there also just is a chance we brick, and this way I feel like just passing with a counterspell up is hard to do much better than that. They also might just be pretty flooded here. I'm not going to jam this end of turn. Alright, take 3, go to 3. Sure. They're down to 1 card. I'm just going to keep passing. I guess it's like we don't have much pressure now. No, I mean, it's a 2-turn clock. This has got to be fine. Black Lotus, yep. That's a card that I'm happy to play here. So just cast this, 6 damage to the face. That should be good. With our tie-up, they only have 1 card. I think there's nothing they could have. Alright, sweet. So we do drop the first game, but then get a clean, no losses after that. This deck was really, really good. I guess I'll start with a weakness, which is that it didn't have as much cheap interaction as I would like. Only 4 1-mana spells, 2 of which are interactive. Like having 2 more, you know, Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce. Instead of some of this more expensive stuff, you know, like cutting like Airtie and stuff for that would be nice. Outside of that, it was really good. I mean, the combo was solid with 2 draw 7s and 3 Punishers. We had a solid amount of cheap interaction, you know, just like high card quality with stuff like the One Ring and Time Walk, pretty good fixing, and a pretty sweet league. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.